Hi everyone! Guess who? It's me, Flower Child 567. And I wasn't here last Friday. Did you miss me? Oh my goodness. We were in a heat wave and we were having what's called rolling brownouts here in California. So it's just something we have to deal with sometimes. But okay. Hey, just a little update. If you haven't already gotten your Crown Crate, Twitch is giving the Crown Crates, giving you a ESO crate. Just look at the top of the chat to find that and grab that so you've got something fun to open up. And that'll be nice. Hey, I've hit 1,506 followers. Thank you all so very much. I really appreciate it. Of course, Twitch is telling me that I have 94 more to go to hit 1,600. So if you aren't already following me, guess what I'm inviting you to do? Yep, that's right. Follow me. And just so you know, I have to say it, but Twitch is having a subscriber drive this week. Oh my God, this month, September. So, you know, they're offering, I think it's 10% off of the monthly subscription rate. So, yeah, if you want to, feel free to become a subscriber. I have to be honest, I don't really promote subscribing just because, I don't know. I figure people will subscribe if they really want to. But follow me. I think followers are more important. But that's just me. All right, here we are. Guess what today is? It's Friday. And that means Tamriel Storyteller Hour. You know, I've got to start off by saying yesterday I had a really cool conversation with my special guest who came on to my There's No Place Like Home ESO housing tour stream. And you know, we got into lore. We started talking about lore, and it becomes so obvious to me, because I don't always get to talk to people about lore, but it became so obvious to me that lore is based on interpretation of the individuals who read it, or those of us who study lore and start reading the oldest lore, which I started this particular stream with over a year ago, or at least a year ago, and I've been progressively moving through the different lore books, you know, like every era, you know, it's just like life. Every era takes the pre-existing lore and shifts it and manipulates it and turns it into, you know, their gurus, their messiahs, their heroes, their leaders, etc., their philosophy. So I'm a firm believer, if you really want to understand anything, you go back to the origin, you go back to the earliest lore you can find, and you read that. That's your foundation. And then once you know the base lore, the original lore, then you can go into any of the alliances or cultures and read their lore, their original lore, and see how they molded and adapted and changed the base origin lore. And I think we fool ourselves into thinking our lore is, if we're, you know, whatever race we are, our Lord is the one and true Lord. Lord, don't get into that. That's when we get into dogmatic beliefs, right? No matter what, whether it's in ESO or whether it's actually out there in real life. Base lore, origin lore. Start there with your lore. Well, today I'm going to look at a sector that I don't think a lot of people play in. But before we do, let's go ahead and get our armature open. We'll light the candles, doing our little ritual here. We open it up and we pull out our apocryphal tome and open that up so that the magic of the written word of lore begins. Now, I'm a believer in the oral tradition, meaning no, get your mind out of the gutters, that the original lore was from memory and handed down mouth to ear. And once we developed the written materials like ink and pen and paper, then we started to record our lore. But whatever, what the heck? What the heck? I'm just having fun here and reading the lore. Okay, so let me show you where we're going to go today and the lore that we're going to read. So let's go into our lore library, because this is in the lore library. And before the hireling correspondence, actually we'll go up and start as I always do. There's the crafting motifs, and then the eidetic memory, and then we come into Shalador's library, right? And if we go down to the bottom of Shalador's library, we come to the trial of Eyevea, however you want to say it. We're going to go into this area, okay? And we're going to actually go and visit it just because I want to. There's only 4 lore books I'm going to read to you there. So here, let me show you where we're going. I'm going to bring up our map. And you see where I'm at the Kelasanurun Sanctuary on the Telebani Peninsula, right? Where am I? Where am I? Right there, right in the middle, top center. And from there, here's Tamriel. We all know Tamriel. If you're new and you don't know, well, take a lesson. Here's all of Tamriel. And then if you click your left bumper one more time on your controller, boom! There's the Arbus. And Tamriel's in the middle, and then of course you can see all the side maps. We have Deadlands, Fargrave. Oh, look at that eye! Guess what that is? Yes, you got it. That's where we're gonna go, but I want to finish showing you. And then we have Cold Harbor, and up here Apocrypha, and over here Artaeum. Okay, so come over to that and click your right bumper to bring it in. It's a very small map, but this is where we're gonna go visit. And you see down here, that's the Scholarium, because it's actually connected to what? The Scholarium. And where is the Scholarium located? Do you know? Do you know? Well, you should. Well, maybe you don't, because it's in the new DLC, which is called what? The Gold Road. That's right. Okay, we're gonna travel right here to the only way shrine that you will be able to find. All right. Okay, so we're going to travel, right? So come here close. I'm gonna give you some of my magic so that you can fly with me without fear of falling. Here we go. Here's some glimmer dust on you. Thank you. And now let's see where we're gonna go on our map. We're gonna go. Let's see. All right, here, right there. Boom. And now let's open the portal and get ready. Here we go, opening our portal for travel. It's always so beautiful, isn't it? All right, the portal is open. Now we can travel over to here. Here we go. Okay. Originally an island of Somerset, it's now all by itself. Here we are. And I'm going to just step over to the side here and read our first lore. You can see it's a very cool location. All right. Here we go. Here's our first lore for today. The trial of, I don't know. What do you think? Eyevea? Eyevea? I think it's Eyevea, but we'll have to listen. A gift of sanctuary. A little boy, scion of a wealthy house, once went to the lakeshore with his parents on holiday. While the elders sipped wine in a cabin with their snooty fellows, the boy was left to play in the sand and mud. He was terribly sad at being so scorned and went searching for a friend. The boy did not have to search long. He found a wonderfully chatty duck in the reeds who told him stories of places the boy could only dream of. Though he was quickly enchanted by the tales, the boy became melancholy that he would never see such a place with his own eyes. The duck laughed and told him that this was not so. They would build one together. The boy and the duck waded out to a small island on the lake, and together they built a tiny house of sticks and sand. This sufficed for an hour until the duck suggested that a house was not a fitting place for the boy. He deserved a palace. The mortar of mud would not be enough, but one of the adults might help. The boy went back to the cabin and found a noble who had stepped outside to relieve himself. So inebriated he was. He was easily coaxed into following the boy back to the island where the duck leapt and tore out his throat to use blood and flesh for the mortar and bones for the beams. The boy was delighted, but the palace had to be bigger. Back he went, again and again, to collect the drunken folk to show them the magnificent palace. Again and again, the duck added their bits to the wondrous palace, whose spires and arches dried to become alabaster and gold. And when the boy's parents came to collect him, he took them to see his magnificent palace out on the lake. They screamed and screamed and ran, leaving the boy alone with the duck. He was not sad. Together they made merry on the island until the mists closed in around it and spirited it away to a land of cheer and mirth for all time. So, do you think that's the creation myth for right here, for this little island that we are on? Could be. Could be. And look at here, we have some druids hard at work because this is for the druids. And we might read some druid lore. Ah, look at, we see someone, an adept, with their light over them. Hello. Hello, Adept Argonian. I guess we are approved to proceed. Isn't this a gorgeous, gorgeous bridge? Entryway. It is just beautiful. Alright, up we go. Look at all the magic makers practicing, having fun.
Hail, Wayfarer. Enjoy your time at the heart of the guild.
Thank you. And you know which guild this is, correct? It is.
I've heard the
Druid
whispers,
Guild.
seen the looks. Something us Nords are a poor fit for magic. I say clearly someone has to keep the rest of these fools in line. Ha!
That's pretty funny, isn't it? Here we go. Another beautiful bridge. And here we come. Up here for our next bit of lore. Oh, and there's a dog eating. Or barfing. I don't know which. Okay. Let's come over to this side and come to the edge where we can see the view. Oh, how pretty this is, right? Okay, let's read our next one. Hey, viewers out there, welcome. I'm happy you're here today. Okay, lore library. Circus of Cheerful Slaughter. Interesting lore. Don't we have some interesting lore here? This is clearly a song. And who do you suppose wrote it? Can you guess? Ah, yes, I would say the Mad God probably wrote it. Circus of Cheerful Slaughter. Happiness is loneliness. 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 Loneliness is happiness. Happiness is loneliness. 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 Happiness. One lines. Ha! Happiness is lone lines. Loneliness is happiness. Oh my gosh, should I keep doing this? Look at how many pages, and all it is an affirmation of happiness is loneliness and loneliness is happiness. So there you got it. A druid's life. Oh my god. Hi, Jellybeat. Thank you. Oh my god. All right, let's listen to a story, but let's look at another view. Let's look out over this area. Okay, here we go. The journal. Although you don't really see it, it gets hidden by the book. How the Kwama lost his shoes. Well, how did the Kwama lose his shoes? In the ash and sand of Stony Falls, the little Kwama lost his way. He herps and derps to his mother's call, but the volcanoes do not sway. The foreigner passed him, burbling then with sand and scrit upon his back. He tripped and lost his front right shoe, and wished he'd brought some kind of snack. The worker ropped him, chiding then, angry at the loss of time. He tripped and lost his back left shoe, and skittered legs passed up to climb. The warrior snarled him, fighting then, bites and snaps at nasty shulk. He tripped and lost both other shoes, avoiding monsters, things that stalk. The queen found him then, cries and leaks all down his face. She cracked his chitin for those lost shoes, and ate him, squealing for his disgrace. Poor little Kwama. All right, let's see what Raw Beer's vegetable garden is all about. A rich Breton named Robber, often called Uncle by his neighbors, owned a great plantation whose crops fed dozens of villages. Day and night his serfs worked the fields, plucking aphids and worms out by their fingernails, if they had to, in order to make the produce the best and most delicious in all of High Rock. Then the creature invaded his fields beneath the noses of the workers. It devoured potatoes and cabbages, carrots and lettuce, radishes and beans. It stumped the efforts of the serfs to catch it. Sometimes people would think they had it, dive forward to grab it, and impale themselves on tools left upon the ground. Other times, the creature would sneak up behind them in broad daylight and push them over to break their necks. It was believed that Uncle Robert was cursed somehow, and the creature was some kind of revenge for a person he had wronged in his past. The serfs abandoned the fields, willing to risk a week in the stocks rather than death at the hands of the creature. Soon, Uncle Robert's fields were stripped bare by the ravenous creature, and he began to believe the superstition upon himself. He locked himself in his chateau and pleaded to the divines, but they were silent. All Robert could hear was the sound of the creature scratching beneath the floorboards, inside the walls, and in his cupboards, as it devoured all he had left to eat. Huddled inside his bedroom in the dark of night, Robert watched as his last candle burned itself to a nub and went out. And then the creature devoured him as well. Pretty interesting. All right, let's go up here. Now we're going to begin to turn our attention to the druids, because that is what I am going to begin focusing on now, is druid lore. Let's go up here. And we will read druid lore until we finish all the druid lore. So our journey now is taking us, that's pretty cool. Our journey now is taking us into druids, and we will eventually go to Galan. Probably next week we'll go to Galan. All right. Let's go up here. Oops, wrong area. Where did I? Oh, here we go. Is it this? Yes, here we go. All right, so, druids are storytellers too, right? Because they recite fables and they talk in rhyme, and they think they're mysterious. Don't worry about it. I am actually, and bear the title of Archdruid, out in the outer world, beyond oblivion, on a planet called Earth. So I could say that about us because I'm one. A Lissome Sprite by Ninelli Dumaris, poet of Galan. The lilting laughter of a lissome sprite goes meandering through the watchful trees to kiss stone and brook in secret delight, a loving caress that no other sees. Across fair green hills where the telling stone remembers holy druid dreams of yore, unseen this playful sprite flits to the throne of Eyevea, then lingers by the shore. The laughter of this playful sprite calls me, drawn from the day's cares I do not resist. I cast aside my chores to go dance-free in sun-drenched glens amid the sacred mists. I walk in Galan, there is none but me, and my longing for woods and hills and sea. That's a call. All right, to go to Galan. Now let's go find a place and let's read this next book. Look at how beautiful. There's a portal. Do you wonder where that portal will take us? Let's check it out. Oh no! Don't worry, it's not coming to kill. Let's see, where is this one taking us to? Oh, it's taking us to the guild hall. I guess we can go to the guild hall. All right, here's the guild hall. You'll do a couple of quests that involve
I call this
hall.
Shalador's legacy. The great man himself was the pioneer of this technique.
Yes, you see, the Mad God is part of this. Okay, this takes us to the Merchant District. And this one takes us to the Traveler Falls, which we'll go there in a moment. This one takes us to the Guild Vault. And this one takes us to the Scholarium. We're going to come back over here. And let's see, where does this one go? It takes us outside, and we're going to read about the ancient druid line. Oh, here we go. Oh, well, heck. Let's go in here, into the Mages Guild, shall we? Magic. And we'll have a seat right here. All right, here we go. Ancient Druid Bloodlines. A genealogy and in-depth study commissioned by Lady Larina Mercad. Second Era, 541. After an exhaustive study, I can say with reasonable certainty that what your family has always suspected is almost positively true. The Mercad bloodline is indeed an ancient Breton bloodline, dating back to the first appearance of the half-elf race in High Rock. Further, I have found clear evidence that the family, as it is known today, can trace their ancestry to druids who arrived in the Sisters archipelago with the original flotilla of the druids of Galan, the very same that departed High Rock in the First Era. Moreover, I feel confident in proclaiming that not only were the Mercads members of the Bretons, original druidic ancestors, they were also clearly of royal blood. If you consider Druid King Kasserin to be equivalent to the aristocrats who govern High Rock in the current era, add to that what we know of the Valoris bloodline, and your son will inherit the best of both dynasties. Why else would House Mercad heraldry be rendered as 3 cups spilling seeds and leaves, if not for their druid connection? What follows is a complicated genealogy working backwards from the time of writing to the ancient days of the original druids of Galan. Kasserin, the last druid king, is clearly shown in the family tree. The last entries from the time of the writing appear as follows. Lady Larina Mercad, Second Era, 521. Lord Lucan Valoris, Second Era, 516. Married, Second Era, 538. Bacaro Valoris, Second Era, 540.
The system of inter-evocative hermetic harmonic resonance we still use
See what the Archdruid's letter has to say. Who's he talking to? He's talking to a druid. This is from a quest. But it's interesting because you do learn about... I got to get out of here, though. I can't handle her, talking.
The
So I'm going
smell
to
alone
leave.
is worth steering clear.
Let's see, where can I get out of here? Did I miss the stairs? Oh no, it's another one of those side pockets. Let's see, can I jump on that without dying? Okay. Yay, I'm free, I'm free. All right, let's look on the map where we are. We're in the middle. See where this is the training center. I want to go down here. Can I get there? I think I can. But it goes the long way around. See if I can go there. I think I'm going back to the beginning. Yes, I am. And that's where we'll stay for the rest of today. Oh, I think I'm going back to the... I'm going back to the beginning. So you know what? That's okay. I'm just going to stop right here. And this is where we'll spend the rest of today. And actually, we might head over to Galan. Arnott and Lisette, The Truth. What do they have to say? By Jacques Dufour. How considerate of Madame Pajud to take every word from her exhaustive interviews regarding my ancestors and promptly throw them aside to craft her own fanciful romance. It's abominable what she's done to what is very clearly a cautionary tale based on a legacy of very real generational pain. I am writing this account to set the record straight on the most egregious of Madame Pajad's liberties taken in The Tempest and The Sunflower. The account that follows are details of the story of Arnott Dufour, my ancestor, and Lisette Mornard, his lover, allegedly, as I heard it from my parents, who were told by their parents, and so on until one reaches the family to whom this tragedy actually happened. Describing Arnott as the golden son of shipbuilders is, I'm sorry to say, where the accuracies in this tale end. The book paints Lisette Mornard as this impossibly radiant creature, clever, brave, skilled as a knight, and a martyr for love. Is she all things to all people? It's our first hint that this is a clear work of fiction, with no attempt to hide Madame Pajad's obvious bias in favor of the Mornard family. I'd assumed readers would balk at a romance formed from nothing more than an eye-baiting glance in a series of letters. Who ever heard of something so shallow, so ridiculous? I'm afraid, dear readers, that Lisette is not the brave, beautiful character that Madame Pajad points her to be, or perhaps who Madame Pajad wishes she was herself. The truth is that while watching a tourney at Castle Nevers as a young girl, Lisette Mornard offered a favor to Sir Arnott, who accepted it out of kindness. Lisette grew obsessed with him over the intervening years, and when he did not return her affections, I am sorry to say that she did indeed turn to the Druids. There is no Druid poisoned blade in the real story, but rather a cup offered in false kindness, filled with a Druidic love potion. Yes, Lisette Mornard was secretly a witch, seeking to bring downfall to a noble family of the Sisters, using Druidic magic. Look no further than Vastier. Look no farther than Vastier to see the suspicious closeness of the Druids and House Mornard even to this day. Lisette then persuaded the bewitched Arnaud to steal a ship with her. Apparently, she'd planned to take him to Ephelon to enact some Druidic ritual that would rain fire from Mount Firesong down on Galan, so it could finally belong to the Druids. However, and here's where accounts are admittedly disputed, Their ship was either attacked by pirates, or Lysita ran it aground, and the two of them were devoured by slaughterfish while trying to swim to shore. Either way, the tale depicts a sad causality of beloved ancestor seduced by a foul temptress. But we can take solace that at least Lysita met a fitting end, to no matter which story happens to be true. The book, on the other hand, tries to paint the two as effectual leaders sympathetic to the needs of their subjects. They die for true love and leave the reader dissatisfied on an ambiguous ending. Even in its attempt at fiction, it fails to be engaging on every front. It's pathetic and sad. Spare yourself reading it if you can. Now, I've got something really funny to say. This person right here. It is interesting how the female is a witch, a terrible, terrible person. Oh my God. Okay. Let's go to Galan, shall we? Let me get to, I want to get to a portal. What's this portal? No, we don't want to go to the guild hall. I want to go to the way shrine, but maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just, fast travel. Oh, did you see the two lovers laying here, talking, taking a nap together? Too cute. Yeah. See, if I jump down there, I'll certainly die. All right. Anyways, you can see that unless you come here on a... Oh, Doofeed, I'm sorry it was a hard day for you. Yeah, chill, chill, chill. All right. So, let me just read another tell right here. I only have a couple more to read for today. Let's read Bolg. Well, no. Oh, let's read The Druid Food of Vestir. Well, we really should read all of this. Let's read the Guide to Tamriel Castles. That might be fun. This is written by Astenia Izaricus. I don't know. Okay, whatever. It is with great pleasure I present to you an aperitif to travel, an invitation to explore, casual incitement to get out of your normal routine and see the world. Here, my dear reader, is a look at 10 of the most unique, terrible, bloody, glamorous, and notable castles in all of Tamriel. Perhaps I'll see you at one of these fascinating structures during my travels. Castle Wayrest, arguably the most famous castle in all of Tamriel. Castle Wayrest has stood at the heart of Stormhaven, and thus the heart of Bretondom, since early in the First Era. Its most notable features are the sweeping spires that provide a commanding view of not just the city, but the countryside beyond as well. Constructed by the Gardner family line, its classical approach to stone keep architecture set the standard for noble homes for centuries afterwards. Okay, too bad I didn't have this choreographed. We could have gone and looked at the castle. I'll redo this in another lore, and we'll go visit these castles. Castle Mornard, poised above the deep water port of Vestir on the northernmost isle of the Sistries archipelago. It can be argued that this sprawling, multi-winged bastion of House Mornard is the beating heart and soul of the city. In some ways, Castle Mornard is Vestir, built in the heady Reconstruction days after the First Era 365. 1005, sieged by the gathering storm. It's also a befitting memorial for Bernice Mornard, said to be the mother of Bastir. Her legacy persists in the sweeping stone wall curtains and sturdy reinforcement of the seaward piers. Castle Thorn. While rumors swirl aplenty about the strange traditions of the Thorn family, it is hard to argue with the grandeur of their incredible ancestral home. A massive central spire soars above the foothills of Hafengar Mountains, with minarets adorning every one of the enormous concentric walls. I have it on good authority. The family allows tours of the castle's public spaces, but only in the morning, so be sure to arrive early. The Alinor Royal Palace. The High Elves of Somerset have an ancient tradition of breathtaking architecture, and the Alinor Royal Palace represents a line of royal succession going back thousands of years. The castle is built around several large, airy chambers topped with sky-scraping spires. It was in fact the massive wall of windows in the Aldemary Council chambers that inspired me to write this piece in the first place. Of course, we High Elves inspire so much in Tamriel. Castle Ebonheart. The castle at the heart of Ebonheart City is a beautiful and terrible old pile of stone perched like a hunting cliff racer at the base of Ash Mountain. The religious ecstasy of the dark elves and their reverence for the tribunal results in architectural choices that may baffle and bemuse visitors, but no one can doubt the resulting three-spired structure's majestic, if Gothic, glory. Okay, Scarp Keep, also known as Arsenium Keep. This sprawling stone edifice serves as the seat of power for the Orcish king, and based on the original palace at the heart of old Arsenium, the ancient city that now lies in ruin, this modern construction overflows with firelight, laughter, and feasting at all hours of the day and night. You will never forget the first time you step into the cavernous main hall, looking up in awe at the massive stone pillars that flank this phenomenal space. You know, that description brings up a side comment I must make. To those of you who run around questing and not reading the lore, for those of you who go slow questing, taking it all in, and read. Goodness, I had to sneeze. I couldn't hold it back. Sorry about that. That read the lore on your questing. Do you stop and look up when you go into buildings or you go into places, into natural areas, caverns, caves? Do you look up? You should look up. You should look up more often. You will see some amazing things if you lift those eyes of yours up and off the ground. All right, Castle Nevere. All right, the sprawling grounds of Castle Nevere on the distant shores of High Isle almost beggar belief. Verdant fields of wildflowers run up to ancient druid-tended woods. And then the castle itself, a staggered construction in the classical Brittonic style, serves as the abode of House Duford. I had the pleasure of visiting during one of the semi-annual Sapphire tournaments, And nothing stirs the blood like the roar of an audience cheering for their knightly champions. Castle Ravenwatch, perched at the base of Rivenspire's northern mountain range. Castle Ravenwatch might seem a bit unassuming in the face of the grandeur of some of the other sites on this list. Not so. This classical representation of Breton construction is exquisitely maintained, and the members of the Ravenwatch family are incredible hosts when it comes to touring their historically significant architecture. In particular, make it a point to explore the cavernous mausoleums that run beneath the castle grounds. Castle Leyawiin. If I were forced to choose a favorite among the ancient edifices of Tamriel, Leyawiin Castle would be it. This beautiful imperial construction on the doorstep to Blackwood has everything you could want in a spectacular castle. Staunch circular towers, a soaring main hall, rambling side corridors that lead up to the main keep on the lands overlooking the town. Incredible. If you can find your way to this jewel on the lower Niben, you simply must do so. The Blue Palace, spanning the great arch beyond the Heart of Solitude in western Skyrim. The Blue Palace may be one of the most unique constructions on the continent. Passing through a tremendous bailey, visitors enter the dramatic entrance hall with its twin sweeping staircases. This opulent demesne would seem to run contrary to the hardy reputation of the local lords. In truth, this beauty is a facade, for the Blue Palace can withstand even the most desperate of sieges, a war-ready keep with the beauty of a noble at an imperial ball. Well, that about does it, dear readers. I hope this has been an amusing trifle on the long journey from where you were to where you are going. Keep your wits about you on the road, and may Kynarth keep you safe on your journey. There you have it. Well. All right, as I said, next week I will visit Galan, and we will visit lore in Galan, and I will read about the druids. So it's going into darkness here on the Isle of Eyevea. I want to thank my viewers out there for tuning in. So thanks a lot. And thank you to those of you who dropped in and made a nice post to me today. I appreciate it. So until next week, everyone, take care. And we'll see you again, okay? Don't forget, next Wednesday is, you got it, it's the Gold Road Wood Elf Roleplay Theater with Stretch and myself. Oh, and you know what? Probably sometime over the weekend, I'll come in and do a spontaneous stream on the Undaunted event we have going on. And if, yeah. Anyways, bye you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Flowerchild567, tuning out.